For Samba News, I'm Dwayne. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Well, as you have noticed that, again, there's been this whole big discussion on social media. Is Kamala, is she black? Is she really black? Or is she really Indian? Or what is she? And all of that. Well, there's a lot of black folks who are actually looking at her and her record. That's the key. Looking at her and her record. If you think for one moment this is just simply about skin tone, there's a growing number of black Americans that are saying, no, it's not just about that, because we fell for that with Obama. But now we're actually taking the time and looking at the policies. And that's what a lot of black Americans are doing right now. And so anyway, and the black Americans that are doing that, well, we taking quite a bit of beating out here. But it's good to see that a lot of black Americans are standing up and beginning to question the policy. See, a lot of these boule types and the upper class, if you will, black folks, see, they want you to just to focus simply on the fact that she went to an HBCU. If her going to an HBCU makes her black, then that means every white person that is going to an HBCU is also black. That also means that all the people from Eastern Indians, that means they're also black. That means that people from South America that have attended these HBCUs, all of a sudden they're black. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm getting at? But I want to play for you this clip that I found to be quite interesting. CBS News just uploaded this, and I found it to be quite interesting. Let's go ahead and play this clip, and I'll be right back.
For the first time in history, South Asian Americans are being represented on the presidential ticket with Kamala Harris. Harris is half black and half Indian. And as a fast-growing voting bloc, the South Asian vote could have a real impact on who wins this November. So I traveled to Morrisville, North Carolina. It is home to the state's largest South Asian population, and we spoke to people there about whether Harris's identity could actually sway voters in this community. And while I found that identity is really meaningful to some people,
I just think the fact that we could have someone who looks like me in office, sorry, I'm like tearing up.
Policy still takes precedence for these voters, especially on some key issues like the Israel-Hamas war.
If there is no ceasefire, there will be no vote.
The economy is a big issue.
How is that our money being spent?
And so is immigration.
I genuinely think there's a lot of drugs flowing in through the southern border.
Still, the group is enthusiastic, with an unprecedented number of volunteers from the South Asian community now out canvassing. And the candidates are too, as both campaigns tell us they value the South Asian vote.
Now, while you're here, make sure you check out our webpage, sambatree.com. Sambatree.com is our own black-owned health and wellness store that we have here. We've been in business for some time now and have helped many of our own people, our families. And I'll tell you, man, my wife and I, we get a joy in doing this because it's not just a store. It's also a place where we educate many of the people as well, on things that we learn, and we just simply pass it on. We're not experts here, but there's a couple of things that we've learned along the way. Our goal is very simple here. It's simple to us, but we know how monumental it is. Number one is to destroy high blood pressure and also to destroy diabetes. These are the two things we're trying to get rid of, and we are making inroads into that. And we have receipts showing that how numbers of our people are going to the doctors, and they are coming back and giving receipts and saying what high blood pressure, what diabetes. I'm not making this up. It's real. So you want to get started with that? Go to sambatree.com. We are actually having an 18% off store-wide sale. Check it out. Again, the website, again, is sambatree.com. Now, let's get back. So anyway, so as you heard in this video here, what was very interesting to me about her presentation is that even though she looked at, how these individuals, people, Southeast Asians, how she only found one clip of someone that saying that, oh, I'm so excited, of someone that looks like me. The majority of the clips that she showed were these individuals who were concerned about policies. That's right, policies. And that seemed like very fair, and it made complete sense to me. But why is it that when black Americans bring that up, it's presented a lot different? And not just so much coming from white media, but I'm talking about black folks. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of these comedians, some of these old dusty rappers that are out here, And then this guy here, this is Isaac Hayes Jr., who, has been on Twitter and literally getting cooked by other Black Americans because he's posting these different questions and people are bringing up all kinds of receipts and saying, here's your answer. Here's your answer. And every time answers are given, then he's got to move the goalposts even more. But anyway, he actually posted this recently saying that intelligent Black men are the ones that vote for Kamala, implying that if you don't vote for her, that means you're not intelligent. And so the thing is, and then a few days later, he posts this on there where he's actually getting funding from BlackRock, for his fan base project. He's building some kind of social media platform. Well, see, it's intelligent Black folks who understand the connection between BlackRock and housing. And we also took time to read her policy, Kamala Harris's policy. Two of the people that she has leading her policy or economic policy team comes from where? BlackRock.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year, and what we are doing internally is if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted. Okay,
we're doing the same thing.
And so it's just you have to force behaviors, and if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted, and that's not recruiting, it is development, as Ken said. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities, and we're going to have to force change.
What's one of BlackRock's main goals is to push Americans, as many as Americans as possible, away from home ownership into renting. And we're going to have a video that we're going to come up later on the problems that are the real problems with rent control, because I got some comments where people are trumpeting this and saying this is such a good thing. But you got to look at the whole picture when it comes to that. Well, BlackRock is very much invested into this. And when you actually take the time to read, get away from she's got good skin and good hair, and actually take the time and read the policy and also understand BlackRock and their position in this, every Black American should be very concerned about this. But for him, he sees it as a personal win. And this is the problem with a lot of these boule types. They don't care about the wider Black American demographic. They care about their pocket. And where they sit, they want to sit up and tell you what to think and what to believe and all of this other nonsense. But I'm glad to see that many Black Americans are, in fact, waking up and they're seeing the truth on this. And they're actually taking the time to invest, to read these policies and to understand the impact that it's having and it's going to continue to have on Black Americans. But you notice, again, getting back to the video, there's no I didn't see any Southeast Asians in the video beating each other up, saying that if you don't vote for her, then your identity is in crisis and you'll never, we won't be able to look at you, your ancestors, Gandhi, he's going to rise from the dead and he's going to wag his finger at you or whatever, and then you're going to have to beat him in his fast record and all this other stuff. There's none of that. It's just simply policies. But it's actually Black Americans that are out here that are taking the same position as slaves did back in the day, the ones that were given a whip and said, go ahead and whip this whip your brother, whip your sister for not being in alignment. And we're seeing it again in 2024. We're going back to the late 1600s on up where that was happening. Here we're in 2024 and we're seeing the same thing take place again, where other Black Americans are being charged and being handed a whip to whip other Black Americans into submission. Isn't that something? Well, anyway, I do want to share with you this article that I came up with, that I found. Now, this article was actually written back in 2020. Don't worry, I'm not going to read the whole thing. And this was actually done by a Southeast Asian individual who, basically, that's why I had to use it as my thumbnail. Vice President Auntie. Yeah, Vice President Auntie. Anyway, I do want to read this one part to you. This is the last part of the article here. It said, Harris walks in the footsteps of many women before her as she is acknowledged in her speeches, with U.S. Representative Maxine Waters, perhaps the most iconic figure in recent California political auntie history. Waters is best known for her no-nonsense interactions with Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin, resulting in her much-memed Reclaiming My Time movement. I don't remember that. But anyway, she says, calling Waters Auntie Maxine, as many did on social media, also stirred debate around whether the term could be construed as disrespectful rather than an honorific. Black celebrities like Oprah and Ava DuVernay said that they did not want to be called auntie. See, this is the problem that I had, with this whole auntie thing, because I'm seeing far too many Negroes on social media when they bring it up. Maxine Waters, they put Maxine Waters' name in their mouth. Go ahead, auntie. Go ahead, auntie. What race refers to their politicians as aunties and uncles and grandparents? Do you understand how self-destructive that is? When you maternalize or paternalize politicians, they're not going to return that to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're going to sell you out because, again, if you take a look at all the corporate sponsorships of politicians, that's who they are beholden to. They're not looking at you as grandchildren and nephews and all of that. They're not, or nieces. They don't look at you that way. You understand what I'm saying? But this is the mindset that's out here. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. But we're going to close with a song. I don't even know who the artist is. Wink, wink. But it came out with a very interesting song. I think is best fitting to closing out this video. Oh, and by the way, we're going to make it available for you to download free of charge. How about that? Just look in the description below. You'll be able to download it and share it with your friends and post it and repost it because I think it's quite telling. Well, anyway, for Samba News, I'm Dwayne. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time.
I'm back just like you, deep fried with some vindaloo. I'm even an AKA. Your votes is all I need. I'll be black if that's what you want me to be. Either way, all your money will go overseas. Black women just love my skin tone. It's all they need to feel like they've won. So I'm comfortable playing both sides, but they need that affirmation, so for them I'll ride. With black owls like Roland and Trump, wig wearing woman named Joy. My message will get out. We don't need them black boys. They're just bitter, angry, and jealous of you. I'm glad I threw their behinds in prison and kept them in the field so Cali could save a few. I'm back just like you, deep fried with some vindaloo. I'm even an AKA. Your votes is all I need. I'll be black if that's what you want me to be. Either way, all your money will go overseas. Black women just love my skin tone. It's all they need to feel like they've won. So I'm comfortable playing both sides, but they need that affirmation, so for them I'll ride. Black woman, you are now an Indian woman. You are still Indian. Let's find a way to work together, because me and my Jewish family got work to begin. I'm back just like you, deep fried with some vindaloo. I'm even an AKA. Your votes is all I need. I'll be black if that's what you want me to be. Either way, all your money will go overseas. Black women just love my skin tone. It's all they need to feel like they've won. So I'm comfortable playing both sides, but they need that affirmation, so for them I'll ride. Boule, boule, where my black boule at? Tell these black Americans that I'm black, so that is that. Remind them that I went to an HBCU, so if you vote for me, you are voting for you. I'm back just like you, deep fried with some vindaloo. I'm even an AKA. Your votes is all I need. I'll be black if that's what you want me to be. Either way, all your money will go overseas. Black women just love my skin tone. It's all they need to feel like they've won. So I'm comfortable playing both sides, but